G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. We are in the live disk of OpenMandriva LX4, codenamed Nitrogen. And we are going to install this to hard drive on my Toshiba laptop. Now I've already done one install successfully and a couple of others within the same live environment unsuccessfully. So we'll see if we can get this one right. Now, a couple of things. If you do want to use Simple Screen Recorder in OpenMandriva Live Disk, what you have to do is we have to go to the welcome. We need to go to Configure, OpenMandriva Control Center. We go to Software and we add restricted. Once you've added restricted, you can then do a sudo DNF update, and then you need to install sudo DNF install lib64 by 264-devel.by86_64, and that is the correct method of getting the codecs installed for Simple Screen Recorder. Otherwise you'll just get an error. I did do updates before that. I'm not sure if that mattered or not. I doubt it very much because it wouldn't install anyway, not until I added the restricted. So let's get on with the install. We have about 3.2.7 for Calamares, OpenMandriva LX support, known issues, and release notes. So this is OpenMandriva LX4 Nitrogen. Let's go next. Australia Perth, English Australian. Now we're going to do a manual partition. Now I made one mistake earlier, so let's see if I can not do that. So normally I click on that because it's got existing documentation on this boot partition. I'm going to do what I normally do, is format it because I don't want it there, or I can delete it. If I was in gparted, I would delete it and create a new one. Here I will do a format. It'll boot EFI, and we need to select boot, which I didn't do on my second install, and it created an error. So I don't remember that error happening the first time I installed it. It went straight through. So don't know if I was lucky, not sure, but definitely we need to select that boot and click OK. That's my swap. We don't need to do nothing with that. Will automatically be recognized. And then we'll do the root partition as well, ext4, and that'll be root, and click OK. Now I don't think we need to put boot on that one. I don't remember doing that the first time. So let's go next. Now I've got the same error, so I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so it's definitely got the boot there. I'm just going to continue with that. Hopefully we don't error. So that's my password's done, and we'll use the same password for the administrator account and go next. Now I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's install. That's the install complete. So we didn't have any errors, which is a good sign, but that happened on my third install and I still had boot problems. I could not boot into the desktop. Hopefully this one has gone a bit more successful. If so, I will see you in the freshly installed desktop of OpenMandriva LX for nitrogen. So here we are in the freshly installed desktop of OpenMandriva. It's the following day. It got a bit late last night, so I thought I would just follow up today with the post-install. So we're on the freshly installed desktop with the OpenMandriva welcome screen, and it says hi Colin, so that's a nice little touch. We got welcome, we've got features, kernel, KDE Plasma. So this is the fourth major release codenamed Nitrogen under the OpenMandriva Association. Over the course of the year past, we have tried to evolve the way you use your desktop. Here are some of the things we have done for OpenMandriva LX4. So it gives you a little bit of a story there about each individual item regarding what was going on in their updates over the past year. So you can read the individual items there on the side there. That I'm not clicking, I'm just hovering over and it's changing. So we can configure the desktop. We've got OpenMandriva Control Center here. Now what I did to get Simplscreenrecorder working was under Software, click on Add Restricted, and just like I did, I think I showed it in the install, once I added the restricted, then I did a sudo dnf update and then sudo dnf install lib64 by 264. Now the problem, I was going to do the post install last night, and the problem was I was trying to install this. I thought I'd done something wrong setting it up, but what I'd done is instead of lib64, I typed lib264, and I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't installing. I spent probably an hour more than what I should have, and I could have had my video sorted last night. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So here we are today in the OpenMandriva desktop. So I thought I was doing a whole heap of different things here. So also what I discovered was you've got the OpenMandriva repo picker. So I discovered that. In the midst of trying to figure out what I'd done wrong, I was installing some extra unsupported packages and repos and so forth. So I enabled all these. I haven't done that at the moment. I may need to do that, but I don't think I cannot see myself being on here for too much longer anyway. I haven't installed any packages yet, and I need to look at Zoom. So I know I can download the RPM from Zoom. That shouldn't be a problem anyway. So, and this is a Big Daddy Linux live challenge, by the way, and I'll probably put that in at the start. So you got some unsupported, restricted and non-free repos there, and you've got these update channels: release, rock, rolling, and cooker. So I'm not really sure what they're referring to. Obviously, some of the other people who are used to the RPM base might have some sort of idea what they're all about. So you can install additional applications with DNF Dragora. What's it called? DNF Dragora. Yep, that's what it's called. And I was trying to add repos from here last night. So I went to repositories and I was enabling repos from here. So I was just doing the restricted ones. So there's a whole heap of cooker for i686 and 64, and then there's the release i686 and testing and release updates and rock and rolling. And I was just checking off all the restricted ones, and I still wasn't getting anywhere because I wasn't ever going to get anywhere because I typed the package name wrong. So I could have configured till the cows come home, nothing would have happened. So that's the software management tool there. Haven't really had much of a look at that yet. That's the repo picker. That's the DNF Dragora. You can add non-free. And if you add non-free, and let's do that now. And then it'll say non-free repository has been enabled. So if we was to do an update, sudo DNF update, then you'll probably see there's the non-free there, and it adds the cooker one. So there's the restricted I put in, and that was doing the same thing with the restricted, was add restricted here, and then it just goes through the, what happened there? Oops, I didn't realize we could do that. Okay, so that was weird. Okay, so we're changing desktops in all different sorts of ways. I didn't know you could do double clicks, probably safer. There we go. So you can see it's added the cooker restricted, the cooker non-free, and it's got the rock. The rock must have been the ones out of the box, I would say. I'm not 100% sure about that. You got a K backup here. You can remove restricted. You can remove unsupported. You can remove the non-free. So you can also, must be an add unsupported here as well. So there's plenty of options there. I'm not sure what they all do because I'm not overly familiar with OpenMandriva at all, except for the fact that it probably works a little bit similar to Fedora. So that's the software. We've got the hardware. You can configure audio and video, networks, which my network worked fine anyway. It brought up all the connections that I needed and hooked onto my Wi-Fi without any issues. System, add and configure users and groups, configure keyboard. So there's a whole heap of information here. You can click these headings up here. You can also just click on next, would be the same thing. So you got the system and the desktop themes, desktop icons. Haven't tried that yet. So let's click on desktop themes. So that takes you to the settings. And you've also got desktop icons. Takes you to the desktop as well. So not a lot of choices there at the moment. Add other fonts. So that's that there. You've got security, configure your firewall, open your firewall applet, authorize management. So one thing that I noticed on Dolphin is network. Now, it may be working after update. So let's click on network. So there we go. Actually, when I first installed it, I didn't have these options. So maybe I hadn't done the, or let's have a look anyway. So I think it's shared Sumber folders, I think. So unable to find work groups, network services, or we go to network, and it doesn't appear to find my home network. And the way I got that going was to configure the firewall, and I've got to remember what I did here, because I do have some files and text documents and stuff that occasionally I use. So the Fritzbox I set as public, I think I did, and options. So it looks like it's already set up as that anyway. I'm not sure what all these mean. I don't do network very often, I just rely on it working. So I'm not an expert at that. Services. So the Fritzbox public, or I could have done trusted. So let's go to options and reload firewall. And let's see what that does. And it's still not finding it. Let's try home. So we'll put the Fritzbox in home or trusted. Let's try trusted and reload firewall. Okay, so I think I'm doing it wrong. So we've got to click on the Fritzbox change zone and go to trusted. Now it's changed. So that's reload the firewall and see if that works. I'm sure it was working with public on the last time on the previous install I did. I thought it was reloading public. There it is there, work groups, Fritzbox NAS, so that's it there. So now it's working. So yep, now it's working, so that's fine. So it's working under trusted. That probably rings a bell actually. So you've got all that stuff there you can use to configure. You've got, that was under configure, you've got applications under here. So they've just got a few applications there to choose from. Well, that's under Office. You've got graphics. Sorry, I didn't see the headings change there. So it looks like they've got a few most commonly used applications here. Multimedia Codecs. Now I did last time install Codecs because I thought that's what I needed to get Simple Screen Recorder working, but I didn't do Codecs this time. I just did add restricted, and that was the one that worked with that little library I needed to install that I showed you in the console. So you've got Audacity, Bino 3D video player, never heard of that one. QMMP media player, and you can install additional applications, development, utilities. So what have we got here? FileZilla, Wine, VirtualBox, and games. So I'm just interested to see if these take you to install additional, whether it's additional across the board or that must be across the board. So it just takes you back to DNF Dragora. So I'm just trying to figure out if there was something that wasn't there. Let's try Cherry Tree, my one that I use. See if that's there. I haven't tried searching any applications yet. So doesn't appear to be anything there. Doesn't appear to be anything. Let's try, well, Audacity's in the list. Let's try that. You'd have to think that's at least there. So I'm not getting any search results at all. I don't know whether I'm doing something wrong here. Do we need to add, we maybe need to add a repo in here or something, do we? Installed to update all. Oh, maybe it's this one here. There we go. Okay. So let's just try Cherry Tree again. Nothing there. Audacity, yep. So they don't have Cherry Tree in the list. Interesting. It's normally a very common little application, I would have thought. Just make sure I'm spelling it correctly. Search that. No, not there. Okay, fair enough. So that's how you got to adjust. You got to show all to actually search for something there. So, and that's quite a comprehensive welcome screen, I must say. So there's quite a fair bit to go through on there, but it's a fair bit to get you started. And let's see what we've got in here already. We've got KCalc and Libre Math. We've got graphics, Digicam, GwenView, Critter, LibreOffice Draw, Ocular, Show Photo, Scan Lights, and then we've got Internet, got the Falcon web browser. More applications here, so you can have a quick look at those. And multimedia. I'll just hold it there for a few seconds. You can pause if you want. Full LibreOffice by the looks of it. And we got more applications here. Kmail. I don't use Kmail. I've heard it's hard to set up. I prefer Thunderbird. That's the settings and the system. You got the DNF Dragora updater. More applications there. Utilities. And more applications here. USB storage formatter. Nice. Help and power and shutdown. And you got your little shortcuts on the side here, which is your system settings, console, Kate, Dolphin, KDE Connect, Conversation, and Falcon Web Browser. This one's probably logout, reboot, and shut down. And you got your desktop switcher here. You got your trash bin there. Status and notifications, sound, clipboard, the Vault, never used that. I better plug in power, and your internet, of course, and messaging, so you can configure messaging, can you? Online accounts, okay, that's got that straight there, all right. And Bluetooth. And then it's got the splits, because they've got the panel so high, these ones here are actually splitting half the panel. So if we go to configure panel, and if we drop the height down a bit, those ones will go, there we go. Then you got singles. Haven't checked whether we have any configured desktop. I'm going to check wallpapers just quickly. There's a few wallpapers there to choose from as well. A couple of branded ones by the looks of it. This one here. Nitrogen, OpenMandriva, yep. Yep. So what was the default one? I think it was this one here. One of those anyway. Okay, there we go. So not a lot to choose from when it comes to settings. So if we go to settings quickly and have a look, I'm not going to do much in regards to themes and so forth. We've got icons here. Add waiter, breeze dark and oxygen. Workspace theme, breeze dark. OpenMandriva, which is what we're using here, which is not a bad theme anyway. Got your breeze light and breeze dark. And the plasma theme, which is currently breeze dark. So that's all pretty standard. I'd say that what sets OpenMandriva apart is the amount of work they've done into their welcome screen. It's quite a pretty good welcome screen, I must say. So, and that's the welcome screen there. We can choose not to start it on login. I'd probably keep that opening until I get the gist of what's going on here. There's quite a few repos that you can actually connect to it as well. They make that very easy, make that a very easy process to do. You can join probably their team and help out, or you can donate. So that is OpenMandriva LX 4 Nitrogen. Not too bad at all. The install process with the Calamaris installer was quite a simple process. I think Calamaris just needs a few tweaks and patching and so forth. There seems to be a couple of little odd things that go on with Calamaris, but did go through okay, so that's no problems there. And this is not looking too bad, so I'm going to try and attempt to put Zoom on here and maybe try and connect to Big Daddy Linux Live tomorrow with the Zoom on OpenMandriva and see how it copes with that. So I hope you enjoyed the install and post-install of OpenMandriva LX4. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.